Today I will introduce the core of our project, which involves the design and implementation of a simulated file system. The presentation will cover declaration and initialization function and directory operation. Code introduce. We define three main structures to support the file system: file, directory, file system, file structure. This structure represents the basic information of a file, with each file corresponding to one file structure instance. Directory structure. This structure represents the basic information of a directory and is used to manage subdirectories. File system structure. This structure is the core of entire file system, responsible for checking the status of file and directories. File location and initial setup. FS total blocks calculates the number of blocks the partition can hold, derived from dividing the total partition size by the block size. Setfs use blocks to 0, indicating no blocks are used upon system startup. Initialize fs free space with the total partition size. Ensure all space is available. Struct clearing and initialize. MEM set is used to reset the file and directory struct to 0, clearing any residue data. Set the current directory to the root directory to ensure a consistent initial environment. Output message. Print a message indicating the partition has been initialized, include size. Next, I will introduce the list function. List file function. The first for loop iterates through all files, checking if they belong to the current directory and print their names. Listing directories. The second for loop scans each directory in the struct and ensures it is subdirectory of the current directory. Next, I will introduce change directory function. First, move to parent directory. Use strchar function to locate the / and remove everything after it. If already in the root directory, retain /. Switch to specified directory. Iterate through the directory struct to check if the specified directory exists. If a match is found, update the current directory path. If not, print an error message. These two functions implement an essential directory management function, effectively displaying directory contents and enabling navigation between directories, providing convenience and flexibility in file system operation.
Next, we introduce the create directory function. The make directory function first checks if the directory name is null or 0. If it is, it prints directory name cannot be empty. Then, in the for loop, it goes through the directory array to check if any slots are available. If it is 1, it means that slot is already occupied. If the current directory is the root, it creates the new directory directly under the root with a path like directory name. If the current directory is not a root, It appends the new directory name to the current directory path, format as current directory name. The function uses snap and printf to ensure the directory name doesn't exceed the maximum allowed length. Once a slot is found, it marks the use flag in the directory array as 1, then display the newly created directory name along with its path. If all slots in the array are already in use, the function output an error message saying there is no space for a new directory. And the remove directory function works as follows. First, it stores the full path of the directory to be removed in the variable temp. Inside the loop, it iterates through the file system directory list to check for a match. Its rules for use is 1, and the name match temp. Once a match is found, it sets use to 0 to mark the directory as deleted and print the directory name along with its path. If no match directory is found in the list, it prints an error message indicating that the specific directory does not exist in the current path. Next is the getFile function. It uses a for loop to search for the target file. If the state function indicates that the dump directory does not exist, it uses make directory to create the dump directory, and it prints a message confirm its creation. The smprintf function is used to construct the file path and store in the path variable. After that, a new file is created, and fprintf is used to write the file content, include the file name and the file size. Once complete, the file is closed, and a success message is printed. If the operation cannot be performed, it prints unable to create a file. If the file cannot be found, it prints file not found. And the remove file function uses a loop to search for the target file, check if use is 1, the file name match, and the file belongs to the current directory. If all conditions are satisfied, it indicates the target file has been found. Next, reduce the number of blocks used in the file system by calculating the total number of blocks the file occupies. Add +1 to include an additional block for any part of the file that does not complete file a block, even if the file size is an exact multiple of the block size. This accounts for system internal usage. Subtract the total block count for the file to release the space. Then add the system available space by add the size of the delete file block to the free space. Set the file use flag to 0 to indicate that the file source has been freed. Print a success message indicating the file has been removed. If the file cannot be found, print a message stating that the file was not found in the directory.
So the next part is put file and get file size. Then in the put file function, you will first to get file size, and the get file size will first find the file exists, and it will return to the file size, and if the file is not exist, it will return -1. So in here, if the size is equal to -1, it will print error. So because the file is not exist, so and it will print is not found. and if it exists, it will get into this for loop. So it will find a space that is empty, and it will copy the file's name to the structure, and it will let the file size, that size is equal to size, and the start block is equal to the used block, and that the space is equal to 1, so it means the space is being used, and it will copy to the directory, and it will be because the file has its own space, own size, so the size will minus the size in here, and the block is also to plus. And it will print the file is added successfully, and if this is all done, it's not exist, it will code error because it have no space to the file, so it will print the error, so no space for the file. And the next part is show content. It will first find the file's name and open it, and when it opens it, it will use the fgetc to get every single word in the file. So when it's to the end, it will end this while and close the file, and else it will print the file is not found. So the next one is show status. So first we int used inodes equal to 0, and int file blocks is equal to 0. So it will use a for loop. So when the file is used, the used inode will +1, and the file blocks will plus to the file size divided to block size, and print all the details in the terminal. So the next part is the help function, and the help function is let the user know every single command it can use in our file system. And the next part is save and load file function. And the save file system, it will first open the myfs.dump, and you will write the structure and the size into the myfs.dump and close the file. So it will keep the data into this file. So if the data save is file, it will print the unable to save the file system. And the next part is load file system. It's also look like the save, and it will use the fopen command to the myfs.dump file. And if the file is error, it will initialize a new partition into the. So if the load is fail, it will initial a new partition in the file system, and it will call the initial file function.
I am going to talking about add function. This code allowing user to create or modify text files. There are three main objectives. The first is read files and load their contents into memory for editing. The second, support inserting, deleting, and modified line of text. And the last is provide option to save and exit. There are three key variables, and the buffer is the temporarily hold each line read or edit, and lines is stored up to 100 lines of text, which each line having the maximum size of block size, and the line count is tracks the current number of lines in the file. First, reading or create a file. Try to open the file in the read mode R. If the file exists, it reads the content line by line and stores it in the line array until it reaches the limit of 100 lines. If the file doesn't exist, it notifies the user that the new file will be correct. And entering edit mode. Once in edit mode, the current content of the file is displayed. The cursor variable tracks the current line being edited. And there are 5 comment options. Provide the user with the following comment options. The first is A. A is add a new line, and D is delete the current line. E is edit the current line, and the save is save the change, and the exit is quit without saving. When doing it command, the is command allows the user to quit the editor without saving change. When doing A is add a new line at the current cursor position and shift the following lines down. And if the file already contains 100 lines, it provides further additions. And when doing the command, will delete the line at the cursor position and shift the remaining line up. If the last line is deleted, the cursor moves up automatically. When doing it command, it will modify the current line by replace it with new input from the user. And there are some moving the cursor. When doing up or down command, it moves the cursor up or down, ensuring it doesn't go out of bounds. And doing save command, it will open the file in write more W and writes the content of lines to the file line by line. Confirm the successful save. Then next is talking about main function. This code provides outlines the main logic and command. It allows user to load a file system from storage or initialize a new one, and then interact with the file system through various commands. And there are some key components. Option is hold the users a choice. Number 1 is for loading and number 2 is for initializing. and comment is store the comment input by the user during file system operation. And file name and their name is store names of files or directories as needed for operations that make, direction, remove, or edit. The user select between loading from the exit file or create a new partition. And in this loop, display the current directory to mimic the behavior of command line, enhancing user experience. This section interrupts the command type by the user and call the operate function. ls is list files in the current directory, and cd is change the current directory, and make directory is create a new directory, and remove directory is remove the exit directory, and rm is remove a file, and put is upload or add a file to the file system, and get is retrieve a file from the file system, and catch is display the content of the file, and status is displays current status or detail about the file system, and the help is list available comments and their usage, and edit is allow user to modify or create file directly through the command line. Exit is save the current stage of the file system and breaks the loop, effectively ending the program. If the user input an unrecognized command, a helper error message will be displayed. And this is our teamwork demo.